Hi everybody, this is Steve Codad of the Feng Shui Cure. Today we're going to talk about Feng Shui and the master bedroom. When I was a real estate agent for over 20 years and then got involved with Feng Shui, it made an awful lot of sense to me that the master bedroom had an awful lot to do with getting a house sold. So I put an awful lot of emphasis on that and really found some great results from putting a lot of emphasis on the two most important rooms in a house with respect to Feng Shui, the kitchen and the master bedroom. Now, there are 5 big D's that we've mentioned in other recordings, and these 5 D's have to be handled before you even try to sell a house, and they certainly pertain to the master bedroom. You need to make sure that the master bedroom is decluttered. It doesn't matter if you're selling the house or you're staying there. You need to make sure you work on the clutter so that not only is there not so much visual stimuli, which distracts from a lot of things that are more important to you, but also that it hurts the flow of energy. You want to do a real deep cleaning, and it really wouldn't hurt you to do a deep cleaning in the entire house once a year. But if you're selling, you should be doing a deep cleaning, which means touching everything from top to bottom, behind the refrigerator, behind everything. Even though you haven't seen it for probably a very long time, you need to pick up the feeling. And in the master bedroom, that feeling is extremely important because of what the master bedroom represents. The detailing part of my 5 big D's is important because it means we have to fix everything. So anything that's not working in your bedroom, like for example, maybe one of your side lamps, one of the light bulbs is out. Maybe one of the light bulbs above you in your ceiling fan is out. Maybe the ceiling fan is not working. But if anything is not working properly, this is considered to be very bad Feng Shui. You're going to have bad qi in your bedroom. So you want to make sure that everything works well and you do not have that extra stress and frustration. Now this one is very important with respect to when you're trying to sell a house, the depersonalizing. But let me give you a couple of tips even if you're staying. You don't want to make your master bedroom a place where you have all these pictures of maybe all your grandchildren or all your children or whatever. This is a sanctuary. This is a place where you and your significant other restore your energy and get ready for the next day. So you really do not want to make it a shrine to the rest of your family or to your friends. And then the last big D is the dynamizing part of it, which happens to deal with what I consider the 4 big tools of Feng Shui, and that is taking care of the flow of qi properly, using the yin-yang theory, taking care of balancing the 5 elements, and then using the energy template called the Bagua correctly. Now, let's talk a little bit about the yin-yang theory. It's extremely important throughout the house, but exceedingly in the master bedroom. Often, people will walk into a house and see a bedroom that does not come off as being more yin and being too yang, and therefore it is somewhat confusing, especially at the subconscious level for somebody. So it's a turnoff. It also might even get to the extreme that they're looking for a 4-bedroom home, and for whatever reason, one of those bedrooms is too yang, and therefore it doesn't register that the 4th bedroom really exists in their mind. So the yin-yang theory is very important with respect to using it in a bedroom, not just the master. So you need to have places of darkness, which is the yin, to comprehend and really appreciate the places of light, the yang. So a very, very important part of this is to get a good ratio of yin to yang in the rooms that really should be supporting more yin. And those rooms are bedrooms, bathrooms, and often a library, and maybe even an office. So you need to really seriously consider this. Now the ratio that I use is not what you might think. We're always talking about balance in Feng Shui. So in this case right here, I'm looking for at least 60% yin, 40% yang. Okay, I do not want extremes. You never want extremes. And if you've looked at the yin-yang symbol, the Tai Chi, you can see that it's got a perfect balance of the white to the black. Now, another thing that I teach my students is the first thing you want to do is to take the floor plan and actually draw the midpoint. And that midpoint, that line, is going to be parallel to the street. Now, certainly if you're on a corner, it's going to be a little different. That means that you're going to have two lines, and you then have to really find out which street is actually the busiest. But in this case right here, does it make sense to you that the area closer to the street will be more yang functioning, whereas the back will be more yin functioning? So if you're to buy a house or to build a house, okay, it would be better if you had the bedrooms, especially the master, in the back of the house. And when you're trying to sell a house, definitely they need to be able, the buyer needs to be able to find a strong yin environment in the back, a place to restore, a sanctuary. But if you can, try to make sure that the bedrooms, especially the master, are in the back of the house. Now, yin and yang has a lot to do with color too. So the colors that you choose to paint the walls is very, very important. It can be too exciting. So if your colors are warm, like yellows and oranges and stuff like that, you're going to find out that the colors advance and excite people, and therefore could hurt the level of sleep that a person is going to get in that room. And in Feng Shui, getting a good night's sleep might be the most important thing possible in that house. You get a good night's sleep, your health is going to be better for sure. If your health is better, a lot of other things become more productive and successful. So picking yin colors, okay, colors like greens and blues and grays, is a much better idea in a room where somebody's going to sleep. So cool colors actually recede and they lower the energy. So looking at these bedrooms, probably right away some of them look more restful than others. Again, in Feng Shui, it needs to really come off as, wow, I can certainly get a good night's sleep here. I'm certainly going to be able to wake up the next day and take on the world. But some bedrooms don't really show that. You can look at the bedrooms on the top. I want you to point out first the one with the wallpaper, visual stimuli, too much. And then the walls that are yellow, again, are too yang. It's too yang in that bedroom. It's beautiful, but it's too yang to get a really good night's sleep. Then the rooms down at the bottom are much more what you're looking for. They're much more restful. So again, the goal is to wake up feeling really good, refreshed. And if you're selling a house, this buyer has got to feel this. And if they don't feel it, I promise you, they're not going to be very excited about your house. So some of the yin elements, and this is just some of them, that you might want to consider when you're working on your bedroom, especially the master, is using cool colors in a good balance. Again, not an extreme. We're not looking 90% yin, 10% yang. We're looking closer to 60-40, 70-30, yin to yang. You might need to use full-length curtains. This might be the only place that I would even advocate them, especially if the bedroom is up towards the front of the house. What you put on the floor can really, really soften noise and also make it cozier. The position of the bed is a very important aspect of Feng Shui. And we spend so much time in bed, a third of our lives basically. So if you can, you want to pick the best direction for you, okay? And that's a whole different video. But if possible, do that, but definitely use what I call the classic armchair, which means that the headboard is up against a solid wall. It's got some protection to the left and to the right of the person, and then they can see the door that enters perfectly. That's the classic armchair set up for the bed. So here are some problems that you might want to consider. You don't want to have your feet pointing directly out the door. So you might need to move the bed a little bit to the right or the left to ensure that doesn't happen. You do not want to have the window behind the bed. If the room is so small or there are so few solid walls and you really don't have any choice, make sure you solidify the window by using shutters or using some way of closing it off at night and then open it up the next morning. You don't want a mirror down at the end of the bed. It gives off way too much yang energy. You don't want a television in the room. A master bedroom should only be considered for two purposes. Those are restoration and romance. So having a television in there is just going to affect the amount or the quality of your sleep. You certainly do not want to have an office or a workstation in there. If, again, you have such a small place, let's say you're in an apartment, you need to have something that sort of hides that when you're going to sleep. You don't want to have your mind on work when you decide to go to bed. You don't want to have wires under the bed. You don't want to be storing things under your bed. There needs to be easy movement under the bed of the flow of energy. If you have a bathroom door that opens up to your bedroom, make sure it's always shut before you go to bed. You do not want to be looking at any type of negative energy. You certainly don't want your energy then going down the drains in the bathroom. You want them to circulate in your bedroom and do a really good job. If you have an alarm clock, it's to your benefit to have it away from your head as much as possible because of electrical magnetic fields. Again, if you have your bedroom at the front of the house, it's really sort of a whole new ball game. That's where I really strongly would consider floor length heavy curtains on the windows. Otherwise, I'd rather have them open. Do not allow the bedroom to get too yang. And in Feng Shui, if you have plumbing in the wall where your headboard is, it's considered a real problem also. So if you're building a house, this is a good time to consider that, where your headboard is going to go. Let's do a before and after real quickly. This particular situation is not at all advantageous for somebody to get a good night's sleep. If you notice, the bed really doesn't have a lot of good places to go. So actually the feet of the person would be pointing straight out the door. There's not a lot we can do with that. We probably could put a catty corner in the right-hand corner, and that would help some. The nightstands have sharp edges. Okay, and there are some other sharp edges there too. You can see where the red arrows are coming off the one wall. It's an L-shaped room. So you can see the arrows on the left-hand side. So we need to soften that corner. Poison arrows are going to be extra stress for us. They're pointing right at where the person lays her head, and we want to make sure that does not disturb their sleep. There's clutter on the floor. Okay, we have a few other problems with respect to the desk, the work area. I'd rather that wasn't even there, but if it is, we need to at least try to correct it somewhat. We have a door open up to the bathroom, also on the left-hand side. Now the after, we left the bed where it was. So it's not perfect, but to make the energy sort of get into a meandering pattern, down at the end of the bed, we put a screen. And the energy then has to hit the screen and go around to the left or the right, slowing it down and also giving us a little bit more time with respect to reaction. We've softened the corner by using a plant. Okay, we've put some plants on that desk and tried to soften it a little bit. We've closed the door to the bathroom. We've taken the night stands and traded them out for circular tables, which soften it quite a bit. We've moved that television away and put it off to the corner over there. Again, I prefer you didn't have one in there, but sometimes that is going to be a losing battle for everybody. So here's just some changes for you. But we want to get the energy into a meandering pattern. We want to make sure this person feels as secure as possible in their bed. Let's look at bedroom A here. Can you see that there's a lot of problems? We have no mountain behind it. We have a window. It's beautiful, but it gives off excessive light in the morning. It's going to be very difficult to probably sleep there. It might even be a problem sleeping there even during the night because of the sound outside with the ocean. There's a lot of glare. It's probably going to warm up very, very quickly. And I hope you can see with the bedspread and even the chairs and the picture frame that it's way too yang. So it needs to be adjusted, you might say. Now B, both of these are really, really good. They're very symmetrical, and you want to have symmetry in your master bedroom. So if you take the top right-hand picture and you draw a line straight down the middle of the bed towards the headboard, it is pretty symmetrical on both sides. There should be nightstands of the same size on both sides. There should be a lamp of the same size on both sides. Okay, so you want to have as much symmetry as possible. Symmetry is a little more calming for people, whereas being asymmetrical is much more active, and it makes us more awake. So both of these bedrooms are very symmetrical in a lot of ways. You even see the symmetry even better in the picture down on the bottom. Now, if you have interest in learning how to use Feng Shui in a very practical way and getting a system that is step-by-step given to you, consider joining us in Florida or Georgia this year. I hold a series of classes in anywhere from 4 to 5 locations every year. And the 2 cities in Georgia are Atlanta and Savannah, and then there are 6 cities in Florida that I rotate through. It is very inexpensive. You only have to attend 1 full day in the city of your choice, and then the rest of it is done online with 4 webinars, and you are given an awful lot of material, including 25 videos that specifically go over all this stuff inside and outside of a house. So, how you can use those videos, here's an example. If you're having some difficulty with your front yard, whether you're selling or not, watch video number 11. It'll help you greatly. If you're not sure about your master bedroom, again, whether you're selling or not, watch video number 17. So everything's been thought out for you. It's a complete system. And one of the biggest benefits is that you receive a lifetime of aid with me. And I get a lot of real estate agents and home stagers from 7 or 8 years ago that are still sending me electronically pictures and information about a home they're having some difficulty with, and I help them for no further cost. So no matter if you sell homes or you help people find homes to buy, and you need to be able to use Feng Shui in a very creative way, or if you just have an environment that you want to make special, okay, please consider taking this training. It does lead to me awarding you the certification of Feng Shui Staging Professional. To get more information about this, just visit the website. That website is thefengshuicure.com. And there are several pages on there. Just go to the page that you see below, FSSP Certification and Training. You'll be able to read the whole complete itinerary. You're going to see all that you receive, which is considerable. You'll find out how to register. You'll see what cities the classes this year. And I really hope you'll take the time to do that. Thanks so much for listening.